Everybody. So it took a little bit longer than I had expected to do this live stream. Couple things happened. I had to go to my daughter's school, go pay a fee, and so I had to stop by the bank, go pay a fee, stop by the bank again. Get a cashier's check for my rent. Got about 40 bucks left in the bank now. So got that done and on my way to go see a softball game. So last live stream I did, somebody saying hi, hey, how's it going? Last live stream I did was this morning before the meeting I love the most, my probation meeting at the federal courthouse in Avondale, Arizona. So first off, I think it's kind of interesting that the local police department used the federal courthouse to have probation meetings. I don't get that. But that's how it works. You know, you can't record video in a federal courthouse. Your chances of documenting are a lot better in a state courthouse, but they'll hassle you either way. But if you do it in a federal courthouse, I think that's a federal offense, so the crime, which is not a crime, it's a constitutional right, is even worse if they want to put you through the ringer for that. So maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe that was just the only place available they had, or maybe that was predetermined, planned out, so it'd make it a little tougher for citizens to provide their own evidence of any kind of corruption in that system. Who knows? Tough to say. So, but I've been documenting all this for like 3 years now. Been going through this probation thing for 9 months, and today I was supposed to show proof that I had gone to a psychological evaluation, which I was told in court that I wasn't going to have to take a psychological evaluation if the probation officer deemed that that was not necessary. Then I get to probation and they say, well, it's right here in the court papers, it's court ordered. I said, that's not what I was told. What's going on here? Well, it's court ordered. I'm not telling you, it's the judge. Well, Adiemi, the judge told me it was up to you. Feels like somebody's passing the buck here. So I went back and forth with that. I'm repeating myself because sometimes people watch these videos that haven't watched my other videos. So I kind of need to do that. The phone number I was given to go to the psychological evaluation turned out to be an emergency psychiatric clinic, which is nowhere close to where you would go for a court-ordered psychological evaluation, a court-ordered and in-depth psychological evaluation that would involve hours and hours, if not days, of research into on the psychologist's part. hours and hours of interview time to properly evaluate an in-depth situation like this. That's not where you would go. Where you would go, you would need to either provide proof of insurance to show what your insurance plan would pay for, what portion of that the insurance plan would pay for, and or you would need to pay out of pocket, which several quotes that I received were $2,500 to $6,000 for an in-depth psychological evaluation. $1,000 retainer fee, $2,000 to $2,500 retainer fee, and then the rest as you go. So again, I'm repeating myself. After I made the call to this place, and they said, "Why are you calling here? You just come in and tell us your symptoms." I said, "No symptoms." I said, "Well, don't come here then." I said, "No problem." I recorded that call. I should, maybe I should share that. So anyway, called the probation officer back, or gave him a phone call. Said, "Hey man, can you call me and talk to me about this? I'd appreciate it. Kind of need some guidance here. Let me know what's going on." No phone call back, so I sent a text message. I'd read it, but I'm driving. I'm on the 10 right now. I'm on Interstate 10 on my way into Phoenix, me and Willie. And I got a text back that said, "Do your own research on where you would like to be evaluated." So I've already done that. I wouldn't like to be evaluated. It's not necessary. Everything I say is coherent. There's no need for that. Text again, asking for more guidance. No response. Showed up at my meeting today, wondering if they were going to try to medically kidnap me. And I get there, sign in, pay my $100, fill out the form. They call it the goldenrod. It's a gold piece of paper, but I just learned today. You learn something new every day. This information form you fill out, they call the goldenrod. It's like, okay. I think the probation officer that was there said, "Yeah, I'll just take your goldenrod if you have any questions." And I was like, "What? You're gonna do what?" And then I realized, piece of paper's gold. That's probably goldenrod. I was like, "Oh, okay." So, needless to say, my probation officer wasn't there. There was a fill-in today, and it was a lady. Went in, sat down with the lady. I went to the office, and there was a what I thought was maybe an intern or a new hire that was doing some training hours. You know, they have to work alongside an officer for a while before they get released out into the wild world of probation. But when I walk in, I said, "Oh, looks like we're doing some training today." And the girl that was in there was straight faced, didn't react, didn't smile, you know, anything like that. And the fill-in probation officer didn't respond to that question. I thought, okay, well, they just want to, you know, make don't want to make a big deal of the person training. And I sat down, spoke with the fill-in probation officer. She was very nice, very professional. Heard me out, listened to me. She was making eye contact with me. Seemed genuine. Just talking to her about my family, what's left of it, what's going on with the Department of Homeland Security and the FICE court, how I ended up in probation. I gave her as much information as possible in a short period of time. Gave her my card. And as I was sitting there, and the other woman that was sitting down, she was dressed really casually, had on some Vans, little flower design on them. Had the 80s aviator shades, not shades, 80s aviator glasses, prescription glasses, like I used to wear when I was in like 3rd grade. They're back in style again. I was selling them on eBay for a while. She dressed a little bit, I wouldn't say hipster, but kind of close, you know, just stylish. And but she had a real stoic, demeanor. And I started thinking for a second, you know what? This could possibly be some kind of internal affairs or FBI agent, which could be a really, really good thing or a really bad thing. Sorry, this camera's shaky. I'm on the freeway. I need new shocks. So yeah, it could be a good thing or a bad thing. Kind of like in the movie, The Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but in The Shawshank Redemption, there's this young inmate. He's trying to turn his life around. He's learning how to read and write. Andy Dufresne's teaching him. He's making progress, making friends, and the warden, who is shady, and he's got a bunch of backroom deals going on, slave labor, different things like that, finds out that this young rockabilly kind of guy can testify for Andy Dufresne, and Andy Dufresne is the one that's cooking the books for the warden. He was a banker, got set up, somebody murdered his wife, and he got blamed for it. If you've seen the movie already, sorry. And spoiler alert. But it turns out the young rockabilly guy gets put in a cell with the actual murderer, and the murderer who did it was bragging about it. So the young rockabilly guy that's turning his life around now has the capacity to testify for Andy Dufresne in court and can set Andy free and get him completely exonerated, possibly indemnified, and get his life back. And the warden knows this. The warden knows that if Dufresne gets out, he's going to tell somebody that he was forced to cook those books for the warden. So the warden calls the young man out to the yard in the middle of the night and pretends to be his friend and says, "Young man, I need to know, without a shadow of a doubt, are you willing to testify in front of a jury of your peers?" I'm probably getting this part wrong. Or in a court of law, however he says it, to help free Andy Dufresne. The guy's like, "Oh my God, this is my chance to do something good and help somebody." And he says, "Yes, sir, just give me that chance." And he's passionate about it. And the warden goes, "Okay, puts out a cigarette, stomps it out, looks up at Hadley. Hadley's the corrupt correctional officer that's up on the top roof, on the top of the roof with a sniper rifle. And Hadley shoots the young guy a few times in the chest and kills him. Now, that long drawn out story about that movie is what I'm hoping that interview today wasn't. What I'm hoping is it was somebody from Internal Affairs, somebody from the FBI or some unnamed agency that is investigating deep state organized corruption, the kind that's been carried out on me and thousands of other people. I mean, over 1 million people, 1.3 million people have been illegally surveilled by the FBI under Ray, Comey, Strzok, Page. Keep going on. They all know about this whole thing. They know how this works. They know how the Stasi policing system works. Department of Homeland Security, rubber stamp through the FISA court, blah, blah, blah. I keep talking about it over and over. It's kind of important, though. So I'm hoping that there were a couple of the good guys in there. But it was very coincidental on my way into the federal courthouse. There were 2 police cruisers. I think it was a Goodyear and an Avondale police cruiser. I didn't catch the names on the side of the vehicles. But right as I was getting to the federal courthouse, there were 2 of them that had out of service placards, little magnet thing like they put on the top of, you've probably seen them in an out of service police vehicle, police cruiser, when they're just going to the mechanic or they're getting fixed. Well, I guess you'd get fixed at the mechanic. Okay, that's for that side. But if they're out of service, whoever's driving it most likely isn't a police officer. Regardless of what I'm talking about, you've seen it. They put a little yellow thing on the top of the car. It says out of service. And as I was passing by, I thought to myself, he's not going to be here today. Huh. There, we're here. All right. So that's the story about today's meeting. They asked me if I had any questions. I said, yeah, if you guys are going to force me to do a psychological evaluation, I'm not going to be allowed to go back to court to question the judge about false information that was given to me, even though I filed a motion. I'm not allowed to exercise due process. What do I do? So she gave me the, this guy gonna let me get in here? Thanks, buddy. It's about 3 o'clock here in Arizona right now on the Black Canyon Highway. Traffic's a little congested. So they just said they'd contact me and let me know. She told me of a place called Lure. I said, lure? You mean like fishing lure? She said, I think that's the name of it. I'll find the number and give it to you. If not, I'll give you another number. I said, okay, well, that will be coming from Audiemi? Or will that be coming from you? She said, it will most likely be coming from me. And I went, aha! Did we not have a officer probate relationship anymore, Adeyemi and myself. I wouldn't be shedding any tears over that. So, I don't know. So I'm just kind of left hanging here, and I will await further instructions from the Avondale Probation Office. And that is today's I have on my business card investigative journalist. And I kind of do some journalism, maybe guerrilla journalism. I'm not always at a desk reading a teleprompter, speaking in complete sentences, being 100% professional. I'm just me, and I basically just document the repeating occurrences in my life, which I guess that's investigative journalism. I'm just not really digging and investigating. Yeah, I am a little bit. But mostly, I just turn my camera on while I'm driving, talk about the experiences that I'm having in my life, to show repetition, show timing, to prove standard operating procedures, tactics, and techniques. Just doing my due diligence to prove what I'm saying. And it's finally taken hold a little bit. I'll repeat myself again. When I went to the Trump rally last Wednesday, I spoke to our public representative, Andy Biggs. I believe he's a congressman. If I'm calling him something wrong, sorry, Andy. You seem like a nice guy. You seem like you follow the Constitution. You're trying to help us. But when I spoke with Andy Biggs, gave him my card, he said, okay, well, I'm going to give this to my assistant. He's the guy that researches this stuff. We'll look into it. 1 week later to the day, he made a video saying that the FISA court needs to be abolished. Now that happens in like a little over a week, I believe. Or doesn't happen. Does not happen. That would be, yeah, let's just say that. Let's manifest that. That's the week that it does not get reauthorized. I'm sweating here. It's, damn, it's 77 degrees here in Arizona today. March 3rd, it's about to get hot.